Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have more fun, specializing in the more fun part. I'm Paul Sanneman, your host, and I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. So I have as my guest today, Ty Sharp with inBuild, and he's going to tell me what inBuild is to start with. So I've looked at your website, I sort of got it figured out, but tell us what your background a little bit, Ty, and what inBuild does.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Paul, for having me on today. Really love the podcast and excited to explain more about inBuild and what we do. So the quick 1-2 on inBuild is we're a financial automation software for builders, built by builders. So
Okay.
my background, I was hired on by a general contractor in Colorado, and I was supposed to be implementing software in their business. And then within the first 6 months or so, the accounting team ended up leaving for various reasons, and they put me in charge of running the finances for a multi-million-dollar GC. So had to learn trial by fire, and that's where inBuild comes in to help automate a lot of those financial processes.
Okay, so what financial processes does it automate?
Yeah, so we do a lot of accounts payable and accounts receivable automation by plugging into email addresses and extracting out vendor and supplier bills, invoices, receipts, those requisitions that are coming in. And then we use AI to extract the information, like what project it's for, the vendor that's associated, how much needs to be paid. And then we can route it through custom workflows and sync with their accounting software. We do e-payments as well. We got a mobile app and a lot more.
Okay, so now I'm totally confused, which is probably good.
Yeah.
So give me a use case of somebody, don't give the specific name of the company, but some company you came into, like a builder does on 2, 3 million, 4 million, whatever, and before and after inBuild and what actually changed.
Sure. Yeah, so before inBuild, let's say it's a custom home builder. They work with a lot of subcontractors, and the subcontractors nowadays, they're emailing in their invoices. It wasn't too long ago when they were just mailing them in. And a lot of the processes that maybe were in place for getting the project managers to look over and review these subcontractor invoices, like for instance, a plumber, he does some work, he needs to get paid for the work. He'll email in the invoice, and normally the accountant or controller is going to forward that invoice to the project manager, and they're going to review it, make sure it's accurate and ready for payment. They're probably going to cost code it and compare it with a budget or a contract, and then send it back. So that process we automate. So after they onboard inBuild, we're able to automatically capture that plumber's invoice, route it to the right project manager. They're able to quickly review, cross-reference with the budget and contract, push it back to the controller where they can send an ACH payment and then reconcile it with their accounting system.
Okay, and what other things would it do besides that? So now I got it. It basically, when you've got a subcontractor, it avoids the forwarding the email around all over the place and getting lost. I get that. So what else does it do?
Yeah, so then once we actually do all that kind of upfront heavy lifting, and we have all of the invoices for accounts payable in the system, and some have even been paid, we're able to track against the budget and then compile owner invoices or pay applications with just a click of a button. So normally at the end of the month, the controller needs to go through and collect all of the various subcontractor, vendor, and supplier bills. And then they need to put them all into a pay application, put their fee on it, and then send it to the owner so they can get paid for all the work that everyone involved in the construction job.
And this is when you're doing something that's cost plus, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah. For those cost plus builders, we're really able to streamline the billing process on the back end.
Okay, now, what happens? Well, I guess the question would be, how does this integrate with QuickBooks? Does it integrate with any like project management software like JobTread, Buildertrend, all the rest of them out there, how does that integrate with current project management software?
Yeah, our biggest integration for project management side is Procore. We see a lot of cost plus builders using Procore, so that's one of our biggest integrations. And we do integrate with all the accounting softwares out there that general contractors use, like QuickBooks, the Sage, both 100, 300. And then we're working on a Viewpoint integration as well. But for the Buildertrend and JobTreads, that's kind of on the more remodeler or the fixed price type of model. And we haven't seen a lot of demand there, but we kind of drive the business forward based off of a customer need basis. So if
are most of your clients that are all cost plus?
Most of them are, yeah. We have a handful that aren't, and they use just the system to help kind of streamline the workflow to do internal approvals and payments. But most all of our customers are cost plus builders.
Okay. Now, you familiar with California law at all?
There's probably a lot of law. I don't know.
Well, there's a law in California that says cost plus is illegal.
Really? I was not
Which is it's sort of weird. I mean, everybody does it. It's sort of like who drives 55, whatever. But there's against the state board of whatever licensing says you can't do it. So occasionally people get in trouble for doing it, but everybody does it. So it's like, it's one of those like law everybody ignores. But it's just great if you, offline we can talk a little more. But I thought that was interesting. So cost plus builders. Now, what states are you currently operating in?
We currently operate in all 50 states in the US and in Canada.
Okay. Is cost plus billing a lot more prevalent in Canada, or is it prevalent as US?
It is, surprisingly, there is it's called the Canadian 5A contract. And it's what a lot of large builders are required to build off of. And it's very similar to the cost plus model in the US. So we've seen a lot of interest from Canadian companies to use the system because they're required to show all invoice and accounts payable documents when they're building on these 5A contracts.
Now, in doing a cost plus contract, what about, does it show the margin? Because some people for a remodel might add 40%, for a new home might add 15%. Is it transparent to the client what margins they've done, or does client see that or not see that?
Yep, it's very transparent. They're able to track that fee, and we can have different margin fees. We see some of our clients, they charge a fee for like contingency or like an insurance line, as well as their builder's fee. And that's very clear and states the fee in the kind of like the G703 that is populated, that budget view. But it's pretty customizable. So each client is able to spit out a different type of owner invoice based off of their needs and what either the lender or the client would want. So
why don't you think the software companies, I mean, for example, Procore, how come they haven't built this in? It's just easier to have somebody like you do it and use Zapier or something to integrate it. How does that work?
Yep, that's exactly right. We are pretty close with Procore and their engineering team. We're working on more in-app integration within Procore. So a lot of the inBuild customers can stay within Procore while they are kind of using our workflows. But these bigger construction companies have been around for a long time. And the kind of OCR AI combination, being able to automate and streamline a lot of the capture from email, it's really become a lot more accessible just in recent years. So that's where like companies like us were able to move faster and capitalize on that new technology. And they're dealing with a lot of other things to build. So we're able to kind of use them and they're able to use us as a good partnership.
So how do you exactly use AI in your app?
Yeah, so when that plumber sends in the invoice, we are able to then extract any of the information that's on that invoice and then correlate it using AI to the existing data for the general contractor. So let's say the plumber puts the address of the project. We use AI to know that that address is then associated with the address of the project and assign the project to it. And then we'll go through a routing approval workflow that will go to the right project manager that's on that project.
Okay. Sort of like, I don't know, Fathom for invoices, so to speak.
Yep, that's right. Gives you a little summary after it's kind of come through the AI system.
Right. So, how big does a builder need to use this to make it be practical? I mean, if guys, what do you think is your sweet spot for the size of a builder you work with?
Yeah, the smaller builders that we have on the platform do about 5 million in annual construction volume. We don't see it working too well under that just because team sizes are small and they normally are either just one or a couple people that can easily communicate to each other, and there's not too much incoming with subcontractors. All the way up to our largest customer does about 250 million a year in construction volume. So there's lots of stuff coming in for them and need the automation.
Right. So what do you see how much time is this gonna, let's say guy is 5-10 minutes here. How much time is this gonna save the cost plus builder over doing it the old fashioned way?
Yep. Yeah. So someone around about 10 million in construction volume, we see it saving about between 15 and 20 hours a month for each project. So a lot of, and this is specific for cost plus builders that use both the approval and routing workflow as well as generating those pay apps. But yeah, so about 15 to 20 hours per project, because now they can just click a button and generate that owner bill. They don't have to cut checks anymore, and they don't have to worry about going through their emails.
Right. And then you use bank transfers to make all the payments. You don't use checks, obviously, right?
We do both, actually. Yeah. So we do ACH payments. So it's a 2-day turnaround with those bank transfers. And then we actually are able to cut, print, and mail checks on behalf of our clients for the vendors, suppliers, subs that don't accept ACH, because it's really only about 40% that we see are accepted to the ACH method.
So you actually, from where you are, you actually cut the check and mail it. They don't have to do that part?
Nope, they just press a button and we'll do the rest.
Okay, so you're actually, the service goes to the extent of actually paying the vendor, not just telling what they owe the vendor.
That's right, yeah. And we get a lot of questions around, well, what if they don't accept ACH? Like, I know some guys, they're never gonna set up ACH, they don't trust it. No problem, we'll send the traditional check. And then we will send a lien waiver with that check. And for the ACH ones, we can do it electronically using our DocuSign integration.
So basically, they don't get the check until they sign a lien waiver.
Yep, yeah, so we can hold it kind of in that escrow account, and we can just continuously remind them like, hey, sign this lien waiver, and then your funds will be released to your account. So
obviously, part of your job is to not irritate, it's the wrong word, inspire the subcontractors.
Yes. Which can be a challenging job sometimes.
Right. Like, see, that's really helpful, because you know, you have to keep calling the subcontractor, say, file the lien waiver, file the waiver. Then I can see that takes somebody in the office a lot of time to keep hassling the subcontractors to do their job, right?
That's right. Yep. And when I first started working with a builder, we had a big room in the kind of where they stored all their equipment, and in the back room was all of the filing cabinets for 7 years worth of invoice history and everything was in there, and you would have to, if you ever had questions from the owner or the client, we'd have to go through there and filter through it all. It really made me hate filing cabinets.
I see. Well, filing cabinets are sort of going the way of CDs probably, right?
Right, yeah, we are. So yeah, we store all of that stuff. It's kind of like a virtual filing cabinet.
Okay, well, that's cool. So, question, Ty, if people are interested in this and they feel like they're doing cost plus, they could probably do it more efficiently. What's your pricing?
Yeah, we pretty transparent pricing. We start at $299 per month. And that includes everything. So you can do all of your projects, you can have all of your team members on there, unlimited invoicing. And if you need to have some specific customizations, or you need any additional integrations other than just the one that's included in that pricing, then it kind of is tiered up from there at a more custom pricing. And we like to work closely with our clients to understand what their business needs are, and how we really can customize the platform to what they want.
So you're a fairly new business, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we've been around for about 3 years now.
So can I ask how many contractors or homes are built on your process?
Yeah, we have 62 contractors that use it every single day. And we have about, with historical, about 780 or so homes that have either gone through the whole process over the last 3 years, or we backlogged and they were already existing, or they're coming up and they're in the bidding phase.
Okay. So you're obviously out of the beta stage, it works, and you're proving that it works, and that's all good, right?
That's right. Yep. We're a legitimate operating business.
It works. Cool. So if they want to get in touch with you, Chai, how do they do that?
Yeah, just easily go online, search inBuild. Our website is inbuild.ai, and you can find us there. We have a phone number there where you can call us, a live chat where you can reach our team. And if you want to sign up, you can do that on that page as well.
Okay. And I imagine this is one of the things, who integrates it? I mean, it's easy to sign up for some software, but then to get it to work is a whole other thing. It's sort of like every time my phone updates, I freak out. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do now, right? So I can see once it's working, that would be great. How do you get it to work? Does that make sense? Because you have people, and you got to change people's minds about the way they do things. So how do you handle the human element of change?
Yep, great question. All we are able to, one, just plug into their existing systems, right? So if they're using Procore and QuickBooks, or if they're just like on Sage 100, we're able to pull the data that's already there. So all of their data is going to be showing up. They're going to see their cost codes that they're used to, all of their vendors, the projects that they've set up. And for any cost plus builders that are using Excel still for tracking their budgets and contracts and everything, we have a dedicated implementation team. This is all included. And all you have to do is just send us those budgets, and we'll get them uploaded into your system. And then normally we'll do 3 to 4 training sessions with your team. If you need more, we have unlimited training, and it's pretty intuitive and simple, but we're able to do all the heavy lifting to make sure, like you said, once it's up and running and all the data's in there, then it's going to work. So we try to get you to that level as quickly as possible.
Now, is there an additional cost for onboarding?
There's not. We used to have a $1,800 implementation fee, but we've waived it here for the spring to really open the door for a lot of other builders to come in and try the system out. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee. We haven't had any builders use that yet, but we're confident that the system is going to work, and we want more people to start using it.
Okay, great. So if you are a cost plus builder and you're probably spending too much time on invoicing and tracking all of those, so I would give Ty a call, because it sounds like a good, very reasonable solution. I'm sure the ROI in your stuff is amazing, right?
Yep.
They pick a number, you spend $400 a month, $300 a month, whatever it is, and you get back, 30, 40 hours, there's no contest, right?
Right. Yep, that's what we see. And we have a bunch of customers that we're happy to refer you to. They give raving reviews, and it's really helped turn around a lot of businesses. So we're just out here. We love working with contractors. We love the built world, and we really want to just help the paper pushing aspect that is kind of
Right.
put on the contractors.
I see this as a practical use of AI, which is good. I know one of the things I do when I talk with builders, I literally have builders that don't know what ChatGPT is. I know it sounds crazy, but they go, I've heard about it, but I really, and then I do a bunch of things, they're like amazed, like the aliens have landed, right?
Yeah. It is pretty wild how quickly all that came up.
It's changing really fast, absolutely. Well,
It is.
thanks, I appreciate being here. And if you are a cost plus builder, give Ty a call.
Thank you,
Thank
Paul. Appreciate it.